Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Tuesday. It is the 3rd of August, 2021. I hope you're COVID free today. I hope your needs are being met. I hope that of your family is being met as well in terms of food, shelter, clothing, and health. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, trying to save lives. Blessings also upon those that pick up garbage for us to keep our places clean. Blessings upon those that make deliveries for us for our convenience. Double blessings on those trying to deliver boys and girls, men and women and children from sex slave, human trafficking, child pedophilia operations, human trafficking operations going on a global basis, as well as child molestation and child prostitution. Curses upon those that participate in these heinous acts and on those that support these industries. Double blessings on those that help and work for, on behalf of, the homeless. 600,000 people in the United States, men, women, children, families, and veterans, and the numbers will be growing. Over millions around the world in the same or worse conditions. Double blessings on those themselves and on those that help, for theirs is the kingdom. Yesterday was the first day of the free agency period in the NBA. And the New York Knicks, again, last year, about this time last year, maybe a little after that, a lot of people were asking, where was the Knicks' talent? The Knicks needed a talent upgrade on the roster. And who was the most valuable player the Knicks had? And at that time, we told you the most important player, the most important piece of the New York Knicks was Tom Thibodeau. And it turned out to be true as he pushed the Knicks without a real true point guard to the 4th seed in the East. He pushed Julius Randle to all NBA status. He pushed his players and he got the most out of everybody to the point where our backup center helped lead us for half the season. And so one of the things the New York Knicks have been lacking since we have come out of the crack problem that we had for almost 20 years was continuity. The Knicks would not be able to keep a coach for more than 2 seasons at any time over the last 15 or 20 years. The Knicks have not even been able to keep the same starting 5 or the same core group of players. I don't know how long it's been since they had the same core group of players on consecutive seasons. So one of the problems that we had is continuity, and that's one of the hallmarks of a team that is in the garbage can. Whereas long-term sustainable winners, like the Miami Heat, like the San Antonio Spurs, like the Boston Celtics, like the Milwaukee Bucks, generally keep a core of their players together for a long time. Now, in Milwaukee's case, the core was really Giannis Antetokounmpo and Chris Middleton, who played together for 8 years, 8 seasons before they won a championship. And during the course of the 8 seasons, the Bucks management and the Bucks coach staff was trying to put different pieces around them until they got the piece that finally clicked. And when they did, they won a title. Okay. San Antonio for a long time had Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili as the core. They played together a long time and they knew each other like clockwork. They would put other ancillary pieces around them over time, and they ended up winning 4 or 5 championships. I lost count. But that's one of the keys to long-term sustainable winning, continuity. So the Knicks continued with the team they had last year, but they upgraded in 2 very important areas. The weakest area was the point guard area, and everybody, including myself, were looking and scouring who was going to be available for the Knicks to be able to grab in free agency or restricted free agency or via trade to fill in the point guard role. And I got to give props to some of you on my channel that came on and were telling me that Derrick Rose should be the starter, because I was totally against that. And the reason I was against that is because Derrick Rose is 32, soon to be 33 years old in October. And the way Tom Thibodeau pushes his point guards, I don't believe Derrick Rose at this stage of his career is built for that over an 82-game season. But then I look at the roster. I saw the roster as it's now constructed. And I realized that last year, as we got toward the end of the season, Elfrid Payton was the starting point guard, but he was really platooning. He only played 12, 15 minutes at the end of the season, and then D Rose would come in. Emmanuel quickly would come in and play those roles. And then he actually ended up using Alec Burks as a point guard oftentimes, especially to close games. So it's not necessarily that Derrick Rose is going to play 35 minutes a game like normal for Tom Thibodeau's starting point guard. And so I understood now. We did upgrade at the point guard with a guy we already had, which provides continuity as well as better play and talent at the position. Last year, we had Reggie Bullock at the small forward spot. Reggie Bullock was a good defender. He would often be assigned to guard the top wing on the other team. But then, as you notice, at the end of the season, I noticed that when we played teams like the Clippers, it was R.J. Barrett guarding Kawhi Leonard. It was R.J. Barrett guarding Bogdan Bogdanovic. It was R.J. Barrett that was guarding people like Harris on Philadelphia. It was R.J. Barrett that was being used more and more. And now we see why, because R.J. Barrett has taken now the position of guarding the best wing on the other team. And he's capable of doing that. At age 21, we're going to see R.J. Barrett take a major step forward this year. But they replaced Reggie Bullock with a guy that maybe not quite as good a defender now. Now, he's not all NBA defender, but he ain't no scrub on defense either. He cares on defense. And in the system built on defense, you get a guy that cares, his game's going to be upgraded on the defensive end, and that is Evan Fournier. Evan Fournier, who we talked about Sunday as a possibility for the Knicks, and here he is. 4 years, $78 million with the fourth year as a team option, which is a theme. He got the longest contract on the Knicks right now. He's got the longest 10-year contract, and his fourth year is a team option. Everybody else is 3 years, and in some cases, the third year is a team option. Okay, so the Knicks have really managed their cap well, and they addressed the shooting on the wing, because now Evan Fournier, who was a Knick killer, don't look at Evan Fournier's Boston numbers because they're going to deceive you. Evan Fournier was drafted in the middle of the season. Some players don't adjust right away in the middle of a season when they're traded, as Evan Fournier was at the trade deadline last year. Look at his Orlando numbers. He's in his prime right now, and his Orlando numbers are going to tell you what he's going to produce on the Knicks. Okay. He's a guy that could put the put the ball on the floor, as Reggie really couldn't. He could put the ball on the floor, and he could get to the basket strong and dunk it on you, as well as he's an over 40% shooter from the three-point line. He's a 3-level scorer, Evan Fournier. He's not a superstar. He's a 3-level scorer for sure. Okay? In the absence of a superstar, like I said, there's not that many superstars in the NBA, right? There might be 10, you might say even 15 if you want to count some. Right? Top 15 players. Evan Fournier is not one of those. But in the absence of a superstar, what you want to have at least is a whole bunch of second options. And the Knicks have that with Julius Randle, Evan Fournier, Derrick Rose. They got a bunch of second options. And if, as I suspect, R.J. Barrett takes a step forward, don't play with him as a third option because he will kill you. So we have the continuity, and now we have a point guard. We just drafted 2 studs. Look, some of y'all don't understand what y'all tripping on trading the 19th pick as if it means something. The idea is to get the players that you want. I think really what it is some of y'all wanted them to get guys like Sharif Cooper or Cam Thomas, and I kept telling you they're not getting them, right? So y'all was upset that they traded the 19th pick because you might have thought they was going to get your dream player when they were never interested in that person. They got the players they want. They got Grimes and they got Deuce. They got the players they want. Put it this way. San Antonio drafted Josh Primo with the 12th pick. Josh Primo was projected to be a second-round pick. Now, I'm not questioning San Antonio, but what I will say is this. Look at it this way. San Antonio got a second-rounder for the price of a first-rounder. New York got 2 first-rounders for the price of 1 late first-rounder. Now, who's managing the game now? You understand? You got to look at it smart now, okay? The Knicks did very well, both in free agency and in the draft. They did very well. So now we have the continuity we need to move forward. And we have the starting 5 with Mitchell Robinson that's going to bring us to new heights. People underestimate what Mitchell Robinson's going to bring to this team. A healthy Mitchell Robinson really would have helped us beat Atlanta. this past season, even with Elfrid Payton as our point guard. Okay. But now we got him, and we got a starting point guard, and we got now IQ. Now, Emmanuel Quickley could also start at the point guard. I believe you're going to see Emmanuel Quickley as well as Deuce McBride get minutes at the point guard. You're going to see that this year. They're going to get minutes at the point guard. And if one of them starts to show out or shows their talent in that area, you're going to see them getting more minutes at the point guard. But it's an option to do. See? So you're going to have that. Now, the starting five would be at this point, Derrick Rose, Evan Fournier, R.J. Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, and Julius Randle. That's formidable. That's formidable in terms of its continuity, in terms of its coaching system, the defensive identity that we had last year, which will carry over. Our second unit, you have the backup center in Nerlens Noel. You got the backup person at the four is Obi Toppin. Okay? You got the backup person at the three. I see it as Quentin Grimes. Okay? You got the backup at the two. It's Alec Burks. You got the backup at the one as Emmanuel Quickley. And that's going to be a platoon between Quickley and McBride. So you're going to see that. Okay? We are really in a good position right here. We are very, very well positioned. Now, I'm not sure. I counted 13 guys, not including guys like Theo Pinson. It looks like they're going to, at this point, they have not signed, they haven't not, we know Frank Ntilikina is no longer a Knick. Theo Pinson might not no longer be a Knick. Jared Harper might be no longer be a Knick. So these guys, you got to know these are fluid situations. They're going to bring in, I believe they're going to bring Taj Gibson in at a minimum, veteran minimum deal. You can expect that, and he's going to be another important piece in terms of just mentorship, in terms of bringing the hustle, showing the younger players what it means to be an NBA pro, and then they'll bring on another player. Now, yesterday I was talking about Carmelo Anthony, and some of y'all just started tripping as if Anthony's going to come ruin the team. There's so much venom and hate for Anthony. I don't get it. Anthony did not ruin the Knicks. Somebody even trying to mention his private life, like that means like something on his, y'all got to calm down. Some of y'all need to get a life, man, on the real. Because Carmelo Anthony, as a mentor on the Knicks, is going to be tremendous. Tremendous. But Carmelo's trying to decide between the Knicks and the Lakers. He's not going to play a major role if he came to the Knicks. He'd be behind the players all I just named. He'd be a backup to Obi, really, if he's going to do the four. He'd be a backup to Grimes, really, if he was going to do the three. Okay, so that's how that's going to flow. Because Melo's older now. But we're going to get another player. We're going to probably get about two more vets on the minimum deals. It may not be Melo, so y'all ain't got a trip. Just mentioning it. Every time some of y'all just started going off tripping like Melo raped your sister or something. I mean, man, golly. And some of y'all acting like you his cousin and you live with him. Come on, y'all. Calm down. Ain't that serious? So, but I think they're going to bring back Taj for sure and another player on a minimum deal. Not sure who. Jericho Sims, I suspect if he's going to get minutes, it's going to have to be in the G League for now. Because Nerlens is back, and we suspect, I told you they're going to need a veteran center back if we lost Nerlens, and thankfully we didn't. We got him as our backup. And so we're in very good shape here. And some of y'all worried about Luka Vildoza. Listen, Luka Vildoza is not Magic Johnson. He's not like he's Tiny Archibald. I mean, come on. It's not like we're dealing with CP3 here. Okay? I'm sure the cat to play, but, do you realize Luka Vildoza is 26 years old next week? His birthday is the same birthday as my grandson. My grandson's going to be 17 next week. Luka Vildoza is 26. It's not like he's entering the NBA at age 26, meaning, he's almost like a journeyman as far as NBA, so calm down on this Luka Vildoza tip, but, I don't know what they're going to do with him or whatever, but I don't know. But, if he's good, he's good. If he's not, he's not, but I'm not worried about him. To me, McBride and IQ are the future of the backcourt for the Knicks. And you got to focus on that. And obviously you got D Rose now. And now, if you notice the contracts the Knicks gave, the most expensive contract was Evan Fournier, right? So he's getting $78 million over 4 years with the fourth year as a team option. So he's averaging about $18 million, $19 million a season. Okay. Then after that, everybody else that was signed is generally 10 or 11 million a year. So your Nerlens is 10 million. Your Burks is 10 million. Your Rose is 10 million. Everybody's in that $10 million range. Now Rose is a little bit higher than that. I think Rose is more closer to 13 million, maybe 14 million, something like that. And I haven't seen it, but I'm almost sure there's going to be 2 years with a third year team option. I'm sure of that. So you're going to get continuity with this team for this season and next season. And now, just like we were talking about, you're giving guys like Grimes and McBride and RJ and Mitch a chance to gel. And IQ, you're giving them a chance to gel, to grow within the system with veterans. Okay. We get a chance to see how good Julius Randle can be. Now, only thing I'm asking of Julius Randle is his normal. If he can give us 18 and 10 and don't turn the ball over more than 4 times a game and pass out of double teams, we're going to be fine. See, I'm not expecting him to be all NBA again this year. That was really good. He came out of nowhere to do that. But if he could just play higher IQ basketball at a level that's his career average, which you're talking about him again, 18 and 10 is about his career average. And then you give him that, you cut down the turnovers, and I'm not even asking for 0 turnovers. If he could just cut it down to 4 and then play the good defense like he played, which I'm expecting that 100%, we're going to be very well, because if they double team him, Julius Randle, if you try to guard him one-on-one with no help, he's going to kill you. That's how Atlanta beat us. They double teamed and triple teamed him, and he did a terrible job of getting rid of the ball. But this year is going to be different, because you got Evan Fournier on the wing. You got Derrick Rose starting, and you got a more mature at age 21 with 2 years experience, RJ Barrett, ready to go to the next level. So this is going to be a whole different thing. Okay. And I'm telling you, them 2 rookies we got are dogs. And if they get a chance, they're going to bite people. Both of them. Okay. And then we're bringing back Burks, which I like the continuity. I didn't think they were going to bring back Burks. I thought they'd bring back Bullock. And the reason I thought that is because Bullock plays the better defense. And not only that, he started and he seemed to be a Thibodeau favorite. So it looks like the management overruled here and said, well, no, we're going to, like I said, if Bullock gets a better deal somewhere else, we're going to let him walk. Because I thought they were only going to give him 2 years. Well, Dallas gave him a 3rd year. Bless him. So 3 years, 30. He got 10 million, but he got an extra 10 million from Dallas, probably all 3 guaranteed. Burks got all 3 years guaranteed, 3 years, 30 million. Okay. So that ain't no money though. Well, if we were next year in a position to say, get a Damian Lillard, most of these contracts are tradable in a sign and trade situation or in a just trade situation. Most of these contracts are tradable. Okay. So you're not worried about that. Matter of fact, we would need that. So you can get rid of 30 million of contracts. Or if Dame is making 40, you can get rid of 40 million. You ain't even got to be, you could just be close in the NBA. You ain't got to be dollar for dollar. It could be close enough, within a certain percentage. And you can get 30 million of contracts over to Portland if you need to, with draft picks. Obviously, we stacked with draft picks, 6 first rounders in the next 4 years. Okay. 6 first rounders. And I don't even know how many second rounders. I know we got our second rounder next year. We got like 3 second rounders in 2023 and like 3 in 2024 and like 3 in 2026. We got a million second rounders. So we got the draft capital, and we're in a position right now. We're still in a position that if a Damian Lillard wanted to come here, he can come here. If a Levine wanted to come here, he could come here. Okay. We got the position. We could just trade those players. We could do that. That's not a problem. Okay. And in the meantime, we maintain flexibility with none of these guys being here more than 3 years. So this is excellent. Okay. And we can make a nice deep run this year, and then bring out the best in our rookies and our young players for the next year. I'm excited about this year. The Knicks are going to be very, very good this year. Very good. We are deep. We're deep this year, and we're ready to go. If we only added Taj, to me, that's the most important piece missing right now. Taj, you want that veteran leadership. You want that guy behind the 2 centers, and you want him behind the 2 forwards. You want him behind Obi, right? And so you're looking at Randall and Obi splitting time at the 4. Randall's probably going to get 30 minutes a game. Obi will probably get that next 18 minutes a game, which is good. That'll be a step up from last year. And then you got Taj in case one of them's hurt or whatever, or needs a break or needs a blow. You got Taj there. Okay. So I want Taj on this team. I think he's going to end up coming back on a vet minimum. But that's it. Okay. If we get another person like Carmelo, I'm not going to trip. Some of y'all would, but I'm not going to trip. But if we get another guy, that's it. But the team is set in terms of our rotation right now. It is pretty much set in terms of our rotation. We just missing Taj as that coach on the bench and that coach on the floor that will really help the young guys develop into professional NBA players. But we're in very good shape, y'all. We're in very good shape. There was a lot of hate on Twitter yesterday. Some of y'all just trip. Y'all listen to the hate too much. There's some of y'all that just wake up on the wrong side of the bed. This ain't the same Knicks, y'all. We got San Antonio style management right now. That's the MVP still. Rose now. And last year I said it was Thibodeau. Now, after Rose has shown us his work over the last 12 months, Leon Rose, the Don, Tom Thibs, those are our MVPs right now. With their crew. They got a crew behind them. People like Walt Perrin, Johnny Bryant, Kenny Payne. People like Brock Aller. Brock Aller. You know, if we could just keep this crew together, especially now, teams going to try to pilfer our management and coaches. You already saw Mike Woodson's gone already, right? So they're going to try to do it. But as long as we can keep Tom and we can keep Leon, we can always build around them. It'd be nice to keep Perrin. I like Perrin. To me, Perrin takes the place. There was Clarence Gaines was a tremendous scout for the Knicks. He actually found Kristaps Porzingis for us. It was him that scouted him and said, go get this kid. So, you know, I was glad we had Clarence Gaines when he did, because he was an excellent scout. But now we replaced him with somebody just as good or better in Walt Perrin. And to me, he's, you know, on the DL, he's, aside from Thibs, aside from Brock Aller, aside from Leon, he's the most important guy behind the scenes is Walt Perrin. So I'm glad that we got him still. And if we can just keep him, to me, he's one of the keys of the success of the Utah Jazz. Okay, so he's got knows talent. So as long as we can keep our crew together, that's our most important piece, is the management and coaching crew. That's the most important piece. I know talent wins, and we can get talent, but you see what Tom Thibodeau does when you give him the ingredients. So right now, the continuity also is the second most important thing. We got the continuity. The guys are learning. They know how to play together. They've been together. So we're building a culture in New York, a long-term, sustainable culture for what we want to be, a long-term sustainable winner. To me, this season, the goal would be 50 wins. Whatever that gets us, it's going to get us top 6 in the East is my prediction. I know that everybody's gotten better. You're worried about Miami? Don't worry about Miami. We're gonna play Miami tough. We got the crew. Okay? We ain't no scrub. They got to deal with us now. Okay? Mitchell Robinson's going to be a key here. Okay? He really is. And Philly, we ain't worried about Philly either. We ain't worried about Milwaukee either. Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? We ready to roll. Let's do what we do. To me, the surprise team in the East this year is going to be Charlotte. Charlotte is going to be good. They were going to be good last year. If LaMelo Ball didn't get hurt, and if they didn't lose Hayward to the toe injury or whatever that he broke or whatever, they were going to be in the top 6 in the East. They were very good. They're going to be good. Atlanta's going to be good. Then, of course, you got Chicago's going to be good. You know, Chicago Chicago going to take that next step. I'm looking at them as a playing team, really. They're going to take that next step, though. They're going to be pretty good. They're going to take that next step. But I'm looking at them more as a playing team, like maybe the 9th seed or the 8th seed if they could get it. But the Knicks are moving forward, y'all. This is our time. We here, okay? So y'all have a good Tuesday. Next thing we dealing with now is we got a couple more signings, hopefully end of this week. Like I said, I'm hoping they sign Taj Gibson when the dust settles. And then we got Summer League. Excited to see Summer League starting Sunday. The Knicks schedule starts Sunday in Summer League. We'll be talking about that. But please have a good Tuesday. Be safe out there. This is Raw Hebrew Remnant signing off. Shalom.